Hi, everybody, and welcome to Traveling with Russell, and welcome. This goes smoothly, and everybody can hear me nice and clearly, and I hope the video holds up, and I think it's probably not. The trouble is, of course, the internet, the speed of YouTube, the place where I'm live streaming from isn't helpful, and it's just what it is. So what we're going to do is we're going to go live for about 1 hour, perhaps less, perhaps a tiny bit more, but ideally for 1 hour. I do have a new video that I can put on right after the live stream. So if anybody wants to watch a new video, I can do that. Thank you to 6 people who put a thumbs up on the live stream. That is super nice of you. And for anybody that came here early, particularly Fireflux, who I think was the first person here, should work now. Yes, I did have to kind of put it and change it. Oh, check out the big icons on the screen. That's really big. Okay, that's no worries though. So I hope everyone's doing well. Sunday night, the last day of the month as well. So we're going into December starting tomorrow. It's currently 10:22 p.m. here in Moscow, Russia. Actually, I live in what's called the Moscow region. Moscow is a little bit further away from where I live particularly. So also Wayne is here as well. If you are watching the stream, put a comment or something in the chat. Wayne Zuvon 76. I wonder if we're obviously got the same age because I'm 76 as well. The last stream I did, let me just put my chair down a tiny bit. Probably should just put my camera up. But I'm also born in November 76. So I guess we're the same age. There we go. Ooh, Central Florida. Renee, hello. How are you? Now, I am looking off to one side, so please excuse me if I do that. I just want to make sure that the stream is still working. The camera is right here, and I've actually moved down my monitor so that I'm trying to be at eye level with it, but my camera seems to be a touch high. My camera is rather fancy. I can do this. Check this out. Look, no hands. And where is the other one? That's the zoom out. I can zoom out a tiny bit. Maybe that's better. Just talk amongst yourselves for a second. I was trying to get the background nice and clear, and I didn't seem to do so well, but it's okay. No worries. KPB Cam, hello. Lots of regulars here in the live stream as well. And also, I generally do them on Saturday night or Sunday night. So it's all good. Robert, hello. You're a huge fan. Thank you so much, Robert. Wagger5787. You know, you can get rid of the last 4 numbers of your channel handle if you want to. They tend to give it to you by default if you're not choosing it as a YouTube channel name. So, Tammy in Central Oklahoma. Wow, 1:22 p.m. I was going to check what the football matches are on today in America, because normally Sunday night there's the American football matches. I say American football. It's just football to you. Oh, November 73. There we go. Oh, Fireflux. Okay, so sorry. A few too many people to figure it out. I was born in 92, but 76 is my favorite number. Got it. There we go. Thanks, Wayne. All is fine. Thank you, Fireflux. Young you are. I was born in 74, back when dinosaurs ruled the earth. Yes. Right. Back when records and cassettes and Discmans were a thing. Actually, I bought a Discman. When I was working in Australia many years ago, I worked in a duty-free shop. So like when you go through an airport, they've got the shops. Years before that, they used to have them land-based. So they had duty-free shops where you could shop in a city-based store, and then you could take your duty-free on your holiday with you. And I used to work in a shop, and I bought a Discman and took it on holiday and brought it back. And I don't know if I've still got it. My mum must have it somewhere tucked away at home. It could be worth something now. Chesapeake Bay. Oh, cool. You. and 21 likes. That's really amazing. If you're a bit confused by the title or the thumbnail, tell me if this might be working. Is this working now? If it is, type something in the chat. What a disaster. What a disaster. Type something if it's working. And then we'll keep going if it is. It's back. Yes. Thank you. Tammy is born in 63. Wow, we're going to have an age competition here somehow. I just turned 52 on the 6th of November. Yeah, my birthday was on the 5th. 33. 65 in Alabama. Hopefully that's the temperature. Or near your age, perhaps. Oh, so all good. Blogging Trucker, by the way. Hello. I know you're a long-time supporter. I think we talked about this before, that you're one of the first or second or third original subscribers to the channel, which is just crazy. Chelix, hello. Oh, the chat is going very fast now. Chelix, hello. Lula 007. Renee, Rain. Must be very cold in Russia. No, it's not that. Yeah, right, Steve. Okay. Winter has just arrived here in California. It's not that cold, actually. Today, it was actually like plus 1 or 2 degrees, like real temperature. But the real feel was probably like -1, -2. This is Celsius, not Fahrenheit. So right about freezing, I guess, give or take. It's not that cold. It was cold a few days ago. We've had snow for a couple of days, and then it just melted because it's not cold enough to stick to the ground. So Steve, yes, we're all good. 37 people are still here. The audio stream's current bit rate is lower than the recommended bit rate. We recommend something. I can't see what it says. You use audio bitrate of 120. I don't know how to change the audio bitrate. I've got no idea. So 45 people are here, 33 likes. That's all good. 33 degrees in New York, so that's right about zero as well. Oh, in Wales. Hello. Vienna 1. Good to see you. Sorry, I'm doing the thumbs up. I should be doing the wave. Both age and temperature. Thanks. Out of my Florida Symphony. Oh, you're going on one of the bigger ships. Very nice. We had a hard freeze last night a couple times a year. Yeah, there's no... Well, it's been down to about -5 or -7, I think, in the last, let's say, 2 weeks when it's really just slowly going down in temperature. But yeah, it's not that cold at all. -10 in Canada. Feels like -16. Yeah, it's definitely not that. Where Lola, yes, Womp Womp. I don't know what Womp Womp is, but I guess it's something. 5 to 8 inches of snow in New York. Wow. Oh, and it's 36, but no, wow. Yeah, so it's all over the place with the weather. So yeah, let me just explain a couple of things. So of course, if you don't know who I am, I'm an Australian who lives in the Moscow region. I'm about an hour away from what would be Red Square, which is kind of the geographical center of Moscow. And of course, I make videos here on YouTube. I'm sure everybody's watched my videos over the time. And yeah, I'm trying to do live streams more often, but you can see how much of a challenge it is versus just basically uploading regular videos, which is what I do pretty much all the time. I'd love to do live streams far more than I do them. If anyone does love the live streams or loves the channel, and you're probably not in Russia, because pretty much there's a few countries where you can't do what's called a super chat in a live stream. The other option during any video that you're watching, you can do what's called a super thanks. That basically supports the channel, and pretty much 99.9% of it goes back into making more videos, namely just the travel expenses, cost to go out for lunch or dinner, cost for equipment, batteries. Yeah, this microphone, this, what do you call this, arm right here. Yeah, so that's what the money through YouTube brings back. It allows me to make more videos. There is an option to do what's called donation alerts, which is available to anybody in the world. And I do have the live box up on my other screen. I can't put it on the screen if there is a donation there. You can see how long ago I did what. The last donation there was 259 days ago. So it obviously, for anyone thinks that you get rich from YouTube, it is a grind. It's not as easy as it looks. So what are your investment options outside of real estate? Well, so I have a small share portfolio. It is very small. I've had that since I left school, pretty much since about after high school or when I started working full time. My uncle convinced me to put a little bit of money into some shares, a little bit, and just buy a little bit of shares every now and again. And I've got a very small, it used to be on E-Trade before, when E-Trade was a thing. Now I've changed it over to my local bank in Australia's thing. I'm not sure what IRA is an America thing. 401k is basically your retirement fund, or what do we call it in Australia? Not retirement fund. We call it something else. I have a small one. You only basically earn into that. It's basically employer contributed. You can self-contribute to it, but I haven't. And because I worked outside of Australia for almost all my life, there is very little or no money in that. It's very, very, very small. When I came back during COVID and ended up working in Australia, it basically put the most amount of money in there because the employer has to contribute a percentage of your wage into that. In America, it's called 401k. In Australia, it's, I forgot the name. Oh my gosh. And if an Australian's watching, tell me what it is where you have the money in the, you can only get it when you retire. It goes into like a bank account and you can't take it out. So whatever that's called. So yeah. Your mortgage is $1 million. Wow. I mean, the cost of the average house price in Australia, I think for most states now is $1 million, isn't it? Been here since you started. Oh, thank you so much. 79 and sunny. Hello from Belaruskaya. So Belaruskaya, if anyone's not in Russia, it's it's where one of the main train and metro station hubs is in this, close to the center of Moscow. I was actually out today at Crocus City Expo Center, which is Mikhinino metro station, and I went to go to a cat expo. And I made a video. Not sure if it'll get views, but I enjoyed it, and it was I couldn't stop smiling till pretty much on the way home. There was over 1,000 cats that were there that were part of a judging and like best in show kind of thing. And then there was breeders selling cats, and then there was companies selling cat things. It was really cool. Any advice for coming to Moscow? If you're going to come and visit, then that's good. I mean, if you're coming to live, just come to live. Come to visit first, figure it out. Visit a few different cities so you can understand, I might want to live here, I might want to live there. This is too many people. This is too quiet. This is too crazy. Yeah, that's probably the best thing. Open mind. Come with an open mind. And I would say almost forget everything that you think you know about Russia before you get off the plane. And it's either going to be positive or negative, of course, because, people have opinions about everything. 35 and snowy in Western New York. Ooh, cool quad bikes, by the way. Ah, thank you. Yes, the Christmas the Christmas trees in Gum. They're a famous thing they do every year. Basically between the brands of shops in the mall and then some of the other private companies that have trees as well. And then they are building the outside market, the Christmas market, and then the ice skating rink. I think it doesn't open for about another week or so, that one. For sure it's the 12th or the 15th of December. Because obviously the New Year is the main celebration in Russia, not necessarily Christmas, which would be the traditional December 24, 25. So a lot of things are more focused around January than they are December. You went with S&P 500 index funds. Yeah, I've just got a few different shares that my uncle recommended a long time ago. I really don't look at it anymore. I used to follow the newspaper. I used to read about things. I used to try to find something that will go up. So I've just stuck to kind of staple things, and that's about superannuation. Yes, or super. How did I not remember that word? Yeah, my super fund is very small because I have really not worked in Australia. I worked out of the country on cruise ships for most of my life, and then now I'm here in Russia. Golden jewelry. They go across the pawn shops and buy. I didn't know that. And one of them told me it is the best investment considering the rise of gold. I guess so. Someone's mentioned that before about buying gold in Moscow. Is there somewhere where you can buy gold? As for pawn shops, I'm wanting to make a video in some in Moscow, but it's hard to find. Well, I know there is some. There's a certain Russian word for pawn shops. It's a Russian word, of course. I have found a couple, but they're just not really anything in them to make a video out of it. Absolutely. 12,000% Wayne. I will be there when it's snowing, when it's not snowing. Yes, I think there's obviously more of a kind of feeling to it. If I go, it's not open now, but if I went and filmed stuff now, like I was thinking of going to a couple of the ice skating rinks have opened already, but it's really not the same feeling without the snow and the cold and the white everywhere. So I'll just kind of hold off and do other things for now. Yeah, isn't it? Yeah, right. It's 3 countries in the world. It's like a couple of obscure ones and then America. Yeah, Cat Expo. Yeah, I don't know if it'll come out as good on the video because a lot of the cats were in the little like cat cages because they were there for breeders for reselling, and then the people that bring the cats for showing, like for the judging. I think it'll come across okay. But it was I mean, the cats were amazing. The amount of cats there. I mean, yeah, it was very cool. Yeah, it was today and yesterday, and I went to the second day of it today. Actually, I didn't stay till the end because the judging was basically never ending. Hello to you, Christopher Black 9390. Hello. I can't wait to see the cat video. Yeah, the cat video I've still got on my camera. I've not even downloaded it to my computer. The video that I'll publish on the channel next is already there for members. Somebody mentioned in the comments, I'm not going to be paid to be a member. I don't believe in doing this. You're trying to make money from people by not publishing the videos. So the members videos, actually quite often I end up publishing them without them end up being a members video. And then sometimes I publish them and then even wait 1 week or more. It's just basically while I'm queuing up the next video, I'm sort of always trying to be 1 video ahead. So yeah, if people are a member, also the membership is, I think it's like $1 a month. And then there's like a $5 option. I put the other options in case people do want to support the channel, but it's not really the point of the money from membership. It's more just to give people a little bit of an extra reason to support the channel. If it is have made me how amazing Russia is. Yes, thank you. Isn't it like double it and add 32 or 36? Remember how it used to be? Double it and add 32. Are we planning to go back to Australia? Perfect stranger. There's not a plan, or there is a plan, then there's not a plan, then there is a plan. Actually, by the way, today my wife is not here. She's actually gone to see her friend overnight. She's gone to do a sleepover with her friend who lives on the other side of Moscow. So basically, I'm home alone tonight, by the way. This is my normal place where my computer's set up. But this is kind of like a bedroom inside the apartment. So my wife is not here. So what did I have for dinner tonight? I had Rostix or KFC, basically. Yeah. I've been very bad. I have the ketchup still here. I got some like chicken strips and French fries, or katochka free, they call them in Russia, and kuritsa, it's chicken. And that's the ketchup I need to put back in the fridge. I didn't get any sauces with the KFC, so my wife's gone one night and I'm already doing takeaway food. Leave all the investments, relying on a job till retirement is hard. Yes. Yeah, I wouldn't really say about people getting laid off here. I think there's more opportunities for work and jobs than ever if you're able to do something. Not suitable for soccer fans because UEFA matches start very late in winter. Yeah, the match. Well, depending on how many matches are per day. When it's the Premier League, the last match is 8:30 p.m. local time. And then it's getting dark here at like 4:30 p.m. So even when you're going to a 5 o'clock match, it's still dark outside. Hello from Texas. How are you in Texas? I cruised out of Galveston, Texas when I worked on ships. 51 likes. Thank you so much. Do you still have your cruise ship website? I have the website. I have paid for the, I guess, the website to work, or the domain, I guess it's called. You know all about this. But I've not really followed up on it working. I still have the cruise ship YouTube channel, but it's been demonetized because it said that there was too many videos that were replicated. So the cruise lines give you videos that you can upload copyright free. And I think somehow it's found that they're not copyright free. So I just shake my head for now. December, sometime in 2 weeks in December, middle of December, I can figure out how to reconnect it for monetization. What I've done is I've basically unlisted every video that wasn't my original content on that channel. The website, I want to figure out what to do or how to do, or I don't know what the heck to do. So I don't know. Yeah, so just talking about the mortgage thing and can a live stream pay off my mortgage? So basically, here in Russia, we have a mortgage. We were renting for a very long time, and then we decided and not rent, or basically not give somebody money every month and not end up with anything at the end of it, at whatever point at the end of it. So we have a mortgage. I'm not 100% sure. It's not 30 years. I think our mortgage is 20 years or 15 years. I'm not sure. My wife did everything. Lots and lots and lots of paperwork, lots and lots of checking and rechecking and all this sort of stuff. But the crazy thing is, of course, the interest rate in Russia. It's 19%. Now, where a lot of people comment about my apartment videos and how can a Russian afford, a mortgage with 19%, interest rate. Russians can still get mortgages. Russians can still afford mortgages. They can afford the repayments. There is a lot of caveats in getting mortgages with other percentages, particularly if you're a family, if you've got kids. You can get a mortgage with a lower percentage, basically a kind of a family mortgage, if that's what you want to call it. And also, if you're in the IT field as well, there's preferential mortgages, which bring down the percentage. I think it's somewhere between about 3 and 6 or 7%. It's very, very low, based on the job that you have or the amount of children that you have. Now, I don't want to give you the very specifics in case I'm explaining it wrong. Lombard is the word. I'm not sure what the Lombard is. Anyway, so we do have a mortgage. It is 19%. Can a live stream pay off my mortgage? I'll say no. I should have said that right at the beginning, right? So there is a caveat that it's technically possible that a live stream could pay off my mortgage. Now, basically, I would need some angels who would want to help pay off my mortgage. Now, the number is just a number. I did this a long time ago. I made a video about a technical number that the YouTube channel needed to reach by the end of the calendar month, which is technically tonight for this video, or for that video a long time ago. It was about 2 years ago. I was going to try to get a record for my YouTube channel for that month, a long time ago. And the caveat for this live stream is the same thing about the mortgage. So yeah, not cold enough to make ice rinks outside. Yeah, so a lot of the ice rinks, I will get to your question, the Dapper Cook, in a second. A lot of the ice rinks. So yeah, so in the suburbs, if you want to call it that, or anywhere in Russia, they have kind of rinks that are made, which are the water just basically freezes, and then it naturally makes an ice skating rink. But a lot of the man-made ones, where they like the one in Red Square and in Vedenha, in Gorky Park, are basically with the tubes that basically keep the ice at a certain temperature. So they flood the actual skating rink, and then it's chilled like a freezer or fridge, I guess, to keep the temperature kind of stable. The car one is, yeah, it's there. It's the car one, the new car one, or basically truck one, is there for members, but I will publish it for everybody. I was going to do it after this live stream, depending on when we finish. Kiwi, married to a Russian woman here in Melbourne, Australia. She's from Ufa. My wife is from Ufa. We have 2 little ones. They speak both Russian and English and are citizens. Wow. The dapper cook. My wife is also from Ufa. That's crazy. I do have, I created a Telegram channel that I have. Okay, I've got my own channel, right? You guys might be following me on the Telegram channel, Telegram chat. But we now have 80 people that are between Australian and New Zealanders who are here in Russia. There's about 10 of them that are in or out of the country because they're traveling or back and forward for work and what have you. We've got 80 people in that group now. Yeah, the cat show video is not there yet. It's still even on my camera. I've not even put my camera out of my bag since I got home. Because I got home, literally, I brought my food to eat. I switched on the Formula One Grand Prix. I got home about 6:30 p.m. And then the Grand Prix started at 7. I got through watching that. I watched a little bit of football, and then I set up the live stream. Thank you for sharing Russia. You're very welcome, Chris. Thank you. That expo must have been the cat's meow. That was what I'm thinking, Steve, as my thumbnail word. I was just going to put meow. And I took a few cat photographs. What investments are there options in Russia? Put money in the bank in a savings account. Because you've got crazy interest rates, it means you've got crazy investment rates in the bank. Somewhere like 15 to 20% interest rate on cash deposits. It is crazy. Yeah, the KFC was very delicious. You know what? I had it for that for the video where I went to taste the desserts, and I literally just had what you saw there. I really don't have KFC or Rustics very often. I used to have it a lot. We've got one local one by our train station. So when I came home, I got off the train, went there, grabbed the food, came straight back home. And I rarely have KFC. And tonight's one was very delicious. I think if you don't have it often, it tastes really good. But it generally is much better here than it is in Australia. So Rustics was the original name. I'm sure you know already. So KFC is the brand that was in Russia. Rustics was an original brand created by a guy called Rustic. That was his nickname. And then KFC wanted to invest in his company and basically took over all the Rustics. And then now KFC left, it all got took back again. But it's really the same. It's probably an improved menu now, though. Do I miss Australia? I'll say not. I miss family. Easily. Of course, I can just make a video call or phone them or message them and things like that. It's not a problem. But yeah, that's pretty much all. Do I have a favorite location in Moscow? Probably anywhere in the center of Moscow. I mean, like going today to Crocus City. Okay, it's the other side of Moscow, but I can very quickly get on the train. I can go on to metros. You know, using public transport, super easy to get around Moscow. It's generally anywhere I want to go, though, is about an hour to an hour and a half away. When I went to film that house video over in Korolov, that was about 2 and a bit hours to get over there because it's just not easy connections. But we would like to go and live in Ufa, actually. We were thinking about that when we kind of first moved here together. But it ended up that we are in the same building where my wife was renting her apartment here. And then now, obviously, we bought a place in this building. But I'm shocked when I look at the receipt. Prices are going up everywhere, Nerdo, everywhere in the world. There's not a single person in the world who won't say prices aren't going up. So, yes, prices go up here in Russia also. there is a very big push by the government and in conjunction with the retailers or the supermarkets to keep staple foods at a bare minimum markup. So there is a list of significantly important food items that they don't want shops to make profit from. So yeah, I mean, I think pension. Yes, that's the other word for the superannuation pension fund. That's what they call it in England, right? I think more. So yeah, I mean, I do notice things go up, but because I worked in retail and I worked in supermarkets in Australia, I'm very frugal when I'm going to look for things in one shop, and I'm happy to go to another shop or check what's on special in one store versus another, because I know how they cycle their promotions, right? It's every 2 weeks or 4 weeks. So, if something's on in special in one shop, it'll be on special in another. I've not been over to the Far East, so I guess there is a lot of open. Russia is massive. It's just impossible to talk about how big Russia is. I mean, is there much to visit? Yeah, I mean, you can go see, nature, endless nature, that goes on forever. I mean, if you want just to go to a city and go to a shopping center and a supermarket and all this, then probably wouldn't be interesting. But if you like remoteness and, there's a lot of people who love, living in the middle of nowhere. So, Anton, thank you for being a member or becoming a member. I will try to publish more videos earlier. I also am trying to prioritize replying to members' comments as well. But there's just too many comments coming on the video sometimes. It used to be 7% mortgage. Yeah, so I know it's the preferential mortgages for families and IT, and I think there's also things for like teachers and nurses and all sorts of different specific professions where they've got these preferential mortgages. So it's a really good idea to try to fall into those categories. Unfortunately, my wife and I don't. Yes. I mean, ultimately, it's not really to figure out. It's not to figure out, this percentage of the interest. Because if you look at anybody's 20 or 30-year mortgage, you'll cry with how much you'll end up paying back in interest versus what you're paying off, what would be the principal. So, yeah, you've really got to not look at it. In Russia, what they do is they print out every payment like a page. It tells you every date of every payment, and then the amount that you're paying in interest, and then the amount owing, and it goes down, obviously. But where you've got like 20, 30-year mortgage, it's like a book of pages. So you can see like till 2030, 2040, 2050, the date of those repayments, where in Australia, you don't get that kind of thing. You just know that you haven't paid it off, and that's it. How much do we need, or do you need? It's technically, it's not a number. It's not nearly what everybody probably thinks in their head. Put it that way. It's just something that's that can happen very, very quickly and very, very fast. And I guess at that point I can breathe, and my wife can breathe, because a lot of the money that we earn goes only on mortgage repayments versus doing other things. It's not that much. It is a mortgage with a high percentage of interest, clearly. Means death pledge. Wow. Oh, you remember the original video? I think I did one, didn't I, to raise money for the microphone, and then for the camera too. And somebody actually ended up contacting me and sending me money via PayPal. And I literally bought the camera the next day, or my wife did anyway. She ordered it for delivery and I got this camera right here. This is a very cool, like DJI gimbal camera that's for streaming. If I had better quality internet, it would be much better quality in terms of what you're watching here. Hype your videos as I do. I wonder. Oh, let me just read that slowly. As I do, I wonder in other countries. Yeah, the hype thing. Thus, more and more people will see your videos, and you will get more adverts. I guess that's advertisements. Yes, yeah, there is a hype thing. I just mentioned it like once. I've not even mentioned it on the videos that I make and upload. I've just mentioned it in live streams, and I think maybe in my Telegram chat. By the way, the hype thing is free. You get 3 hypes per week or per month. I don't know how that works. I've forgotten. It wasn't a big deal from YouTube, but then some creators made it out to be a big deal. And whether or not it does help, then I'm not sure. And it'll pay off. I don't know if hyping will pay off my mortgage. What I'd love to do is pay off the mortgage without my wife knowing. Now, I know it's all in her name. I could go to the bank in the next 2 days while she's not home, put the money on the account, and then there's no mortgage. Put it that way. Susan, so Anton, thanks for becoming a member. I can press this. Thank you for the super, I guess it's fish. I know you comment on lots of videos, and I really appreciate your comments on videos. So thank you for the super chat. And you're also a channel member as well. So I'm sorry if I don't reply to every message. I do my best. It just gets out of hand, the amount of comments. It really gets out of hand. So first home, but then I realized how the rich are getting wealthy. Now I borrowed against some of my properties to buy more real estate. Yeah, that's the whole thing that you can do, right? And then, where you're renting them out, then I think it's called like positive gearing and negative gearing. Oh, and somebody's a lifelong Nordiques fan. I guess that's ice hockey, I think. I should really look up the ice hockey schedule and go to an ice hockey game. Interesting seeing how others live around the world, although I have been to Brisbane and I think I'd prefer the weather. Or Vegas, Vienna. Yeah, I'm from Perth originally, so if anyone's from Perth or visited Perth, maybe you're English and the cricket was there recently last week. AVS used them yesterday against Montreal. Oh, okay, I guess you're talking about hockey. Do I think about buying a Russian car? Sam, I don't. The first problem is it's very difficult to get a Russian driver's license. There was an option to swap your current driver's license to a Russian one last year. However, Australia didn't sign up to the same international convention as what Russia is signed up to allow the driver's license swapping. So, I personally, the only time I'd want a car is probably like Saturdays and Sundays to go for a drive somewhere or go to somewhere not Moscow and, drive on the highway somewhere further away from Moscow. But in terms of getting around the city and going into the center of Moscow, or even today going across to Crocus City, it would have been nice to drive there, park the car, then drive home. But I wouldn't have really got there and back any faster because of the amount of traffic in Moscow. There are options. Okay. Russian car. But you're talking about buying a Russian car. So maybe you're talking about like a Lada or this Tenant, the car that I made the video about. I'd love to get a Lada Niva. I would love to. I think that would be the coolest thing. The other Lada models are just basically compact cars and, nothing too exciting, if that makes sense. The Lada Niva is just cool. Figure skating Grand Prix. I love Russian ice skating. This year I've been able to watch it on YouTube, Channel 1. Oh, figure skating Grand Prix. My wife loves ice skating as well. She watches it on TV when it's on as well. And she showed me yesterday while I was out. She sent me a screenshot of the TV. There was some tennis on from St. Petersburg, and she thought it was in Moscow. So there's a invitational tennis tournament in St. Petersburg this last couple of days. So if you're chatting to each other, by the way, if you do the @ symbol, start typing their name, it will then highlight on the other person's chat. I wonder if you knew that or not. If you do like @ and then traveling with Russell, then chat, then type, it highlights on my screen too. If you want to have money, don't spend it. Before you buy something, ask yourself if yes, that's definitely true. If you pause, you might not want it. Yeah, I tend to decide for way too long about buying something, and my wife isn't happy with me doing like that. She's like, just buy it. You know you want it. You know you need it. You know you like it. Like while we were in Australia, I bought a mini PC. This, the little tiny small computers, mini PC. And I was forever using my laptop to use the internet. So I have my laptop plugged into the monitors here. And then I bought a mini PC in Australia. And I should have bought one of them years ago. And I'm the worst person to spend money or buy something that I want or I would get perfect use out of, like the camera, like the microphone, and all those sorts of things. And it's a matter of being practical. I'm not carefree with my money. I'm very cautious with it. Would be interesting in seeing gas prices in Russia. I saw an article saying that the recent sanction on Russia. Gas is still very cheap here. There is a lot of it. There's no shortage of it. I know it was a big thing like a couple of years ago. People were making videos, going to petrol stations and things. I've got one like 5 minutes walk from my house. Can you yeah, so I keep meaning to go. I really want to just go to one and then go and try the food in there, see what the hot dogs are like. Maybe I could just do that at the same time. Can you refinance if the rates go down? You can, yes. Very similar to what you can do in Australia as well. You can't negotiate anything here though. Whereas in Australia, you do have a bit of wiggle room with the bank saying, oh, I'm going to change banks, if you don't do something, and they'll help you. So yeah, you can do that. It's not that easy though. Walking in the bank tomorrow and paying it off would be my ultimate thing. If anybody wants to send me a message on Telegram, someone asks, how much is it that I need? It's a lot less than what everybody's got in their head. How vague. Are you asking people to pay off your mortgage? No, I'm not, Scott. Not at all. No, I just thought it was an interesting title for the video. I thought it was a very interesting title. About a year ago or so, or was it 2 years ago? I did a video about, can YouTube buy an apartment for me? And I had this idea. This is before we bought this place or, mortgage this place, whatever you want to call it, that I could raise the money through doing videos to buy an apartment that's not finished the construction, and then document the finishing of the construction. So showing the steps that you do here in Russia to buy an apartment and then do the remodeling inside. You can buy apartments in Russia with no finishing. Basically, it's just the bare bones apartment tower. And then inside there's nothing, literally just a couple of cables sticking through. I have shown it briefly on a couple of videos that I've filmed with Yuri. It's called Black Box Apartment Construction. And I wanted to do that. But people sort of were booing me and not happy and carrying on like pork chops about it. So I kind of didn't bother with it. We could have easily bought an apartment in a place I was looking for about $30,000. And then to finish it, it would be about another, $10,000 or so. And then I could have rented it out and so on, the whole story. So I don't have the hype button at all. Yeah, I don't either. I don't have the hype button either. My wife has it on her phone, so I don't know how it is on, not on mine. It's on hers. So yeah, I know she doesn't watch all of my videos. She didn't watch the video of herself at the Pizza Hut restaurant, and I told her I know she's read the comments because she read them to me or read them out to me, quite a lot of them. So, Granite, thank you. Russia has 40-year mortgages. Yeah, I mean, really, truly though, most people don't do the longer mortgages. I mean, unless you're genuinely doing something like an investment where you're wanting the lowest possible repayments, it's not people's wish and dream here to not pay off their mortgage. People don't want to have repayments and mortgages, and people don't. There is a massive percentage of people here compared to other countries where they own their own house or own their own apartment. They have their dacha or their summer house or whatever you want to call the dacha equivalently. And they buy and sell property and move up the property ladder that way. A lot of people acquire properties from way back when the government was giving social housing. So where somebody kind of says, the average grandma or babusha can't afford this apartment, the apartment that they live in, they own, whether it's in the center of Moscow, whether it's in another city, whether it's in Ufa, Moscow region where I am, like my wife's family has their house in Ufa region. So yeah, it's not everyone's dream that to have, this like the 40-year mortgages. I mean, yes, I generally don't know what I know ours is either 15 or 20 years. I know we didn't do the 30-year one when we took the option of it. We basically worked on what was the, reasonable repayment we could make every month based on, our earnings. Do you get recognized in the streets? Yes, I do. Every day. Actually, today, 3 times I was recognized. But generally when I'm filming at an event, I'll get recognized far more. The day before, I was at a brand new shopping center opening, and I got recognized twice. Actually, there was a lot of people there. Only 2 people recognized me. Today, 3. So, yeah. It's very normal. Actually, the other day, when we were out doing the pizza video, on the way back, we took the train there. On the way back, we took the metro and then the bus. And somebody stopped me on the way going towards the metro, going between the stations. You go from one line to the other. And I was with my wife, and my wife was laughing because she finds it very funny when people recognize me on the metro when it's so crowded with people. Yes, yeah, it's not as easy to do it on TV when you're watching a live stream and on like that. I reply to most comments. Thank you. Yes, Darwin is a great place. I've never been to Darwin, but I'm from Perth. I've been to Melbourne, Sydney, and Brisbane, kind of briefly, to all 3 places. You have such phenomenal public transport. You can rent a car. Yeah, we can do car. What is it called? You can rent a car by the minute here. Car sharing, I think it's called. Is it just called car sharing? I've got a couple of apps that I've connected up where I can rent a car by the minute. Yeah, there's a map that comes up. It shows you where the cars are parked. You can drive it anywhere, then leave it anywhere, and just pay by the minute. You can also do by the hour, by the kilometer, and so forth. But from Greece, hello, Raider Bear. By the way, thank you for 79 likes or thumbs up. Thank you, of you. Do you listen to music at all? I don't. My wife does. She has what's it called? This app that you've got where you've got endless music Spotify. My wife has Spotify. I don't have it at all. Greece Calipari. Calipira. You don't have a lot of square footage. Do Russians rent storage units? There's garages, which is really the men's domain. Ladies probably wouldn't even put their stuff in the garages. Yeah, I mean, you end up just not buying and acquiring things. If it doesn't fit in your apartment, you're not buying it, basically. Or if not, it ends up on the balcony. Any Russian will know what I'm talking about. So, would you like? Let me go to the super chat because that's really what I should be doing. Finally, paying off my mortgage next January makes me cry. The amount of interest over the years the banks have made. Today's youngsters can't afford to purchase houses. Granite Man, absolutely, yeah. I mean, I keep saying it over and over and over to my wife. Don't look at the interest that you're paying back based on what the amount we borrowed, because it makes you cry. And I mean, everyone in the world that's got a mortgage understands that. And, ultimately, whatever your repayments are, that's what it is. And whatever date that it finishes getting paid off is also that, right? It's just, they're the two that's critical. And the bit in the middle, you just have to kind of, I don't know, keep working. But, wow, congratulations. I would love to walk into the bank tomorrow with a sum of money and say, pay it off and be done with it. Now, the only thing is, I mean, granted, you'll understand for January, right? I mean, what happens the next day? Did the bank call you? There's no congratulations. There's no, like fireworks going off. And it's really not as exciting, but it's just a lifelong goal, right? And then you do it and then you're like, okay, what now? So thank you for $5 Canadian. Granite Man. Oh, you've done 2. Thank you. $2 and $5. Thank you so much. Susan, of course, I know you already from the chat, from the comments a lot. Thank you. On this one, I can see it jump. Before you decided to buy an apartment, do you also consider buying a plot of land and building a house on it? I would love to. Where my wife is staying tonight with her friend, her friend's mum was given land, or a dacha land, about 3 hours south of Moscow. The company where she worked most of her life basically acquired a big plot of land and gave everybody a plot each. And that's generally how most people ended up with their dachas somewhere, usually through a company or through whatever XYZ reason. And there's a plot of land across it's not a road, it's a track that's been empty since I came to Russia. And I reckon I could somehow acquire it very cheaply, because I would imagine it's been handed down to family or the person's deceased or something. And it needs a lot of work to clear it. But I want to put one of those like container homes on it. Put some kind of screw piles and put it on there and hook it up to the electric and water and stuff. And yeah, that's what I would love to do. Love to do. I'd love to do videos about it. Love to do it. Is it possible? My wife thinks I just talk all the time. Talking. So it probably won't happen. Let's focus on the paying off this mortgage and then move on to that. You are the norm. You are the norm of Russian royalty. Cheers. Thank you. Royalties to Cheers. Oh, like the TV show Cheers. Okay, I kind of get it. I mean, kind of don't. Earlier today, would love to hang on original. Oh, enjoy the Christmas shopping video earlier today. Would love to hang an original from Russia ornament on our tree. Yeah, I mean, there's a ton of them that are, Chinese made stuff. The stuff that I showed in GUM, where I showed the Christmas trees, those ones around that sort of middle area where that big tree was, and then all of those ones are the some are cheaper ones, but then they go up in price till, price of a car kind of price, or where they're handmade, hand painted, just insanely beautiful, but not cheap. You can pay hundreds of dollars, thousands of dollars for them. Of course, in the supermarkets where I showed like Ashan and Globus, it's more normal, reasonable, everyday prices. So buying an apartment, isn't it cheaper than buying an apartment? You know people who have got $500,000 mortgages. I mean, I'm sure in Australia there is a lot of people with big mortgages based on the cost of housing now than it was 5 years ago, 10 years ago. Then I agree that there is people with very big mortgages that are kind of, I'm not going to say stuck, but they've got a lot of commitments to having to pay it off. And, they've got to keep working. I mean, we all do, right? We all have to work. We all have to, make it work and so forth. So, yeah. Would it be, I guess you're asking, is it cheaper to buy like land and have a house than buying an apartment? These sort of dacha places, I mean, people have got 3 and 4 story dachas, crazy kind of places. And some people have just got wooden shacks for dachas, if that makes sense. And I mean, it could be much cheaper, but then, it depends on what your lifestyle is. I mean, I don't even have a lawnmower to cut grass, for instance, to look after the land, small house like you showed with Yuri, like a trailer home. You made a video on it. Yes. So there was a container home, and then there was that Chinese like space capsule style one. So they're basically like prefabricated, modular kind of like shipping container homes. Yes, that kind of thing. Actually, Yuri knows all about them. He's actually, if you go back and watch that holiday video where we went down to Kaluga region, and I showed like the A-frame houses with the pond and everything. So Yuri and his guys built all of those. How much is your mortgage? It's not as much as everybody thinks it is. It's not got as many zeros. Basically, if I really put my heart into it, we could do like the live stream that doesn't end until it's paid off. One of those sort of kind of style videos. But I'm not that kind of person, right? I mean, it's just, I have all these like ideas and dreams, and can I do this? Can I do that? David, good to see you here, by the way. Thank you so much. Finally caught a live stream. Thank you, David. Yeah. Yeah, how much is your mortgage? It's not a lot. Well, it is a lot. Depending on what's a lot. Put it this way. Well, no, I can't. Yeah, it's saying too many things. Yeah, it's possible to walk in there tomorrow and be done with it. Put it that way. Technically, it's possible. Technically. If anyone wants to message me on Telegram, I'll happily send you my whatever you want to see. I can't wait to see the decorations in your Russian Christmas videos. The shopping malls go above and beyond with decorations. Yes, I will make more of them, particularly the holiday markets, the Christmas markets when they open. They haven't opened yet because they build them literally. They build them from scratch. It's really kind of crazy to see, like the one in Red Square, the amount of work they do to build all the structures, and they bring stuff in from last year, then they add more things to it, and they, some things just don't hold up to the weather, so it's not usable the year after. So Yeah, I can barely afford an apartment. It's half of my paycheck. Forget about me ever having a house. Yeah, I mean, look, it was the great Australian dream for a long time, right? To, have a wife, two. Oh, we're back. Sorry if we freeze up. And I think even oh, don't do this. And you know, like my wife and I, we spoke about this quite a lot about if we were to go back to Australia. I mean, we can't even walk into a bank and ask for money without working for 12 months with a full-time job. I think it's like 2 years if it's casual or part-time, but 1 year if it's full-time. Or if you get a contracted job where you've got a fixed salary, then it may be possible. But otherwise, it's impossible to be able to get a house that's $500,000 or $1 million or whatever. The minimum amount of deposit you need, and then to figure out the repayments that are reasonable, to the point where there is a possible end game of paying off the mortgage. So. Will I make a video about the new metro stations on the Line 16 Zeal and the new tram line? Yes, both videos are on my list of videos. Yes. Interestingly, last week, it was probably 2 weeks ago, I was invited by the Moscow Metro, or Moscow Transport Department, I guess, to go and travel on the new tram that runs in the center of Moscow. It's man, I can't even know what letter it is. It's like the number 1 tram or something. It's part of the Moscow MTD, Moscow Tram Diameter. It's 27 kilometers from Universitet to a train station on the other side of Moscow. I can't remember the name of. Tram Diameter 1, yes, on the Moscow Tram Diameter. And really that thing that I got invited to was for international news creators. So there's me from Australia, there's a guy from Turkey, there was a lady from Vietnam who was part of Vietnam TV, and then there was RT Arabic there. So it was basically for international content creators. And I kind of learned about it that I didn't really realize. Sometimes it's hard just to turn up and film without knowing a bit of backstory. So it was kind of cool to go and do that. The Zeal video I will make, because obviously that's inside. It won't be reliable on the weather. I did actually post a couple of photographs of the tram on my Telegram channel when I was there that day. So yes, they're both on my list of videos to make. It's impossible to get a house. It's all done on purpose. Yeah, I mean, I guess the banks want to keep making money, right? They don't want you to pay off your mortgage, really. They want to keep taking the money in interest payments and want to make more money. Property costs are sky high as they are now in Europe as well. Right. Yeah, I mean, I think it's around the whole world. There's a kind of a bit of a crazy idea that I had about taking a mortgage in Australia and paying off the mortgage here in Russia. And the interest rate in Australia is about 6-point-something%, about 6% for mortgages, versus 19% here. So even just the repayments and how quick it could be paid off based on taking the money in Australia and paying it off in Russia would be better. But then I've obviously got to pay it off in Australia. I mean, obviously you still got to pay it off, right? Then bottom line. But yeah, technically, the problem is I'm not in the country. So the first thing you need to do is walk in the bank and ask for money. And there's just a lot of technical difficulties with just simply doing that. It sounds like a great idea, but it's in theory it's perfect. borrow money at 6% to pay off a mortgage at 19%, and you're winning, which you are. It's kind of scary, the kind of differences in the repayments when you look at them side by side, you know. The ideal location is an apartment in Moscow near to a metro station. Yes. Or a shopping mall. There's shops everywhere in Russia, though. Meaning, when I'm not near a metro station, my nearest one is Salareva. So I've got to walk 5 minutes to a bus stop. And then the bus is about 30 minutes, depending on traffic, to the nearest metro station. What I'm doing a lot now is just going to the train station, which is about 10 or 12 minutes walk. And then I take a train in towards Moscow, then connect to a metro from there, which is what I did today. Took the train to Aminskaya, then to Kuntseva, and then Mikinina. On the way back, I actually did it even quicker. I went through Park Pobeda, very beautiful station, Park Pobeda, and then to Minskaya, and then took the train home the other way. I kind of sat on the way home tonight thinking, like, it's just crazy. Australian guy figures out the trains and buses and metros. My wife is always in shock. Like when we do go out together, how I know which way to walk, which way to go, which carriage of the train to get on. My wife's always like just in shock by it all because I'm just, you know, my dad was a bus driver, by the way, all his life until he retired. And, you know, I kind of grew up catching buses and riding the buses with him when he was working and so on. So yeah, it became just normal for me, and it still is normal. Susan, hello. How are you? Susan with Donald Trump logo right there. He's a bit all over the news, isn't he? My gosh. Why don't you just buy a car? Wouldn't it be easier to commute? No. Pretty much because of where I live, and most of the things I need to do are in Moscow, it's not as easy to commute. It may sound it, and, you know, it's just, you know, then find parking. Everywhere is paid parking. It's not cheap for parking. It's hard to find free parking convenient to where you want to go. So it's not, for me, it wouldn't technically be easier. Maybe on a Sunday to go somewhere it would be, because there's less traffic on the road. But tomorrow morning, for instance, for me to go somewhere, it's easier to catch public transport than it is to drive there. It's very hard to compare city modernized apartments with new homes in Russia. There is, you know, you can pay. So if you look at that house that I showed, the last one there in Korolov, what was that, 25 million for that one? 3-bedroom, well, 3.5 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms place, you know, gated, electric gate, everything done. And then, Yuri could go and show me very easily apartment for 20 million, 30 million, 50 million in Moscow. An apartment in a tower somewhere, which probably would be reasonably close to a metro station. Definitely not the same size. The one we went to about when I'm meeting Yuri on Wednesday, by the way, to see a new apartment. About 2 weeks ago, he went to show me one of his clients' apartments that he's working on, 100 square meters. I can't film there because the person that he's renovating it for is rather well known, and he doesn't want it to be filmed. That without construction was more than 50 million rubles. Without construction. Basically, the price of a new car was only the air conditioning that was installed in the apartment. They did full ducted air conditioning. And it was the price of a new car for that part. So, yeah, you can spend any amount of money you like on apartments. The further away you are from Moscow, the price goes down. In regional cities, it goes down. You know, so... thank you again, Granite Man. Thank you, by the way, for super chats. Granite Man, Susan, thank you so much. Canadian average rate is 3.75 fixed. Yeah, so Australia it's about 6%. So Canada's definitely lower than Australia. 3.75, 5 years fixed rate. It's about 6 without going and looking it up. I guess you could just type it into Google, right? Google tells you everything nowadays, and the AI of Google. What tower blocks do I like? Soviet ones. I like the modern ones because of, the fact that it's got everything underneath, the gardens, the kids' play areas, the shops. Most of them tend to be built kind of in clusters. So other buildings, and then, generally a school's built there, clinics, pharmacies and things like that. My wife really likes the older ones in the center of Moscow, which, I think that if I was to live there and the fact I could walk outside and be in the center of Moscow, I would love it. They are beautiful to see. These stunning. But, would I ever be able to afford one? Probably not. I would need, to win lotto, or I don't know, come into some inheritance from a secret family member my wife and I don't know about. They come up for sale, though. They do. A lot of them are in original condition that need a lot of work to renovate them. I've spoken to Yuri about it quite a few times because he can do that kind of work. And, he said it's just very difficult to even quote prices because once you start taking things apart, you find more problems and more problems. That's why he solely works with new build towers and apartments, and his investors buy properties in new towers. So he knows already what to expect from the different developers. Even he doesn't like one company, likes another. He doesn't like this tower, he likes another, because he knows the quality of their finish. Whereas like that apartment that I showed with Irina in the center of Moscow, the one where I walked in and everything was gutted out, and then there was kind of like soil on the floor. That was the insulation between the levels. Everything was ripped out. A lot of the work in that apartment now is to basically put steels in to support it was kind of almost like those telephone pole beams that were in the ceiling. And just the amount of structural work to be able to get to a point of starting the renovation is just incredible, so in Moscow it won't be a lot because there's not that many houses in Moscow. So Moscow really is this inner ring of Moscow, so the center and then out, and then outside of that is then Moscow region. So there's not that many houses in Moscow compared to apartments. So it would be probably a very low percentage. And people would generally maybe have a dacha or a country house somewhere 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 hours away from Moscow. Based on all of the Christmas decoration shopping you showed, do Russians store their decorations for next year or buy new? Yes, people do store them for next year. The apartment storage there seems a bit small. Yeah, ours is on our balcony. My wife's had the same tree for, I think, since before I met her, because we put it back in the same box. We shrink wrap it with the cling film around it, and we just leave it out on the balcony. And then she's got like a container of Christmas ornaments that she collected over the years, and she keeps adding more. She does buy new, not the whole. We've acquired them from people giving us gifts of them. We got quite a few in Australia that we've got on and stuff like that. So space is limited, but ours is on our balcony. Everything's on the balcony. It's like the has it frozen up? Yeah, so we're at 1 hour and 20, and I'm going to wrap up the live stream within within about 5 minutes, let's say. So if anybody wants to help me pay my mortgage in the next 5 minutes, counting down the time to do that. Okay. The apartments that you liked on the channel were the one in Nekrasovka and Kotelniki. The one with living room and kitchen separated. Yes. So that Nekrasovka one, very crazy. That's, by the way, past 1 million views about the last couple of days. So my wife's friend, where she's gone to visit today and tomorrow, is in Nekrasovka. It's actually a walking distance from that apartment. And my wife actually was considering, before we bought this place, to buy an apartment in Nekrasovka because it would be near her friend and husband and kid. They've got one daughter. And purely so that they could be closer together, not have to traipse across Moscow to see each other. And actually, not that exact tower where that apartment was, but we did look at a few for sale. Not physically look at them, but we did look at buying one in those towers there. The only thing is it's about 15-20 minutes walk to the metro. But when it's like cold and snowing and raining and miserable, it's quite far. Where my wife's friend lives, it's like 5 or 8 minutes walk to the metro. She's lived there quite a few years. So Kotelniki, which was that? Kotelniki. Oh, that's the one where, okay, with the white, it was like white finished. I think it was on the first level or second level, and you can see like a pond across the way. You can see the new apartment buildings. Yes, I know that one. Yes. Actually, I made 2 videos in 2 apartments there, by the way. But I know which one you mean. It had like a very big like lounge room, bedroom kind of space across from the kitchen. Yeah, it's basically the convenience of an apartment. You can just lock the door and leave, and you don't have to do anything with the gardens. You don't have to clear snow. You don't have to, look after anything or maintain anything. You don't have to worry about, the exterior finishes or painting or anything. So an apartment is just convenient. There's nothing to do, literally. You didn't do anything. You just live there and pay the bills. Greetings from Nigeria. I would say there is a big percentage of people here who really don't want to have a house or won't get a house. I would say it's probably not people's dream. Purely, I guess I'm living in Moscow too long, and I become accustomed to that city living versus living. Evacuate due to structural failure. People lost lots of. I didn't hear about that. No. Oh, that's yours. Oh, what's going on? Too many comments. No, I'll have to look that up. I don't know about this one because doesn't really make the news in Perth if you're from Sydney and so forth. So, houses, yeah, and then they moved back to I mean, that's the whole thing, right? You kind of think, oh, it sounds so great, the dog can run around, you can do that, you got so much space, but then you don't really, I guess if you live in an apartment long enough, you don't think about a house, so it's a window to a holiday that many of us would love to be at. I love your shop. Thank you, David. Yeah, I've been frozen all of the video. And it just stresses me out because I'm trying to make the live streams more interactive by putting the comments on the screen. And I think it slows down the up and download of the internet. The internet I've got is very fast, actually. If I do everything just locally, but the ones I'm doing it up and down to the internet like this, it's not great. But actually, when I'm uploading a video, it's very, very fast, but it's not streaming like this. So, yeah. So, by the way, if anybody wants to join us on Telegram, where is the chat? The chat is probably the better thing to go be a part of than the channel. If you don't know what Telegram is, it's like WhatsApp. It's like Messenger on Facebook, but it's another app. Very safe, very unhackable. I think the owners still have a $50,000 bounty, I think, if you can hack Telegram, and no one's ever got the money. Yeah, you can join us in the chat there. Okay, everybody. I hope you've enjoyed the live stream. We've got 59 people watching. Thank you. And 106 likes. That's amazing. And I guess, again, I should have done it at the very 2 minutes at the beginning of the video. Can a live stream pay off your mortgage? No. Can YouTube pay off my mortgage? No. Could somebody click on donation alerts or PayPal, or I guess if you're in Russia, there's Sberbank. Pay it off? Possibly, yes. I guess I've got to dream smaller, not dream bigger. Ones. Thank you, Fireflux. Thank you, Carlos. Renee, thank you so much. Please have more of. All right, let me get that off the screen. And hopefully I'm back. Hopefully. Yes, watching videos is more than enough. I watch a particular English-speaking YouTuber who creates content here in Russia. And almost in every video, more than once, they ask about donating or helping the channel or helping the family or helping us what we're doing. And all the links are in the description. All the links are in the comments. And, and it's just, it gets too much sometimes that I'm like, no worries. I understand. But I don't ask in any video. I really don't. If it comes, it comes. If it's to be, it's to be. And that's the same with getting views on videos. The second video I did where I went to the shopping centers to show the decorations got virtually, well, it's one of my worst performing videos in the last 20 videos. So what can I do? My wife's in the video, it gets more views. My wife's not in the video, it gets less views. That Nekrazovka video, Nekrazovka is a place in Moscow region on the southeast of Moscow, where my wife is visiting her friend. And that video is just past 1 million views. And if anyone can tell me why that video got 1 million views, when that is a very, at the end of the day, that is a very typical new build apartment. Actually, the fact that Yuri finished that for an investor who has got that, I think it's listed. I'm sure it'd be rented by now because it was about a year ago. Basically, his investors have him build. They then rent out as an investment. So that is a very, very, very. There is. On again. Oh, I'm back. And why that video? I don't know. So it's very. Thank you. You're very welcome. With 2 heads on your icon right there. Based on some other people's live streams, I'm sure they can. I've seen live streams where it looks like a telethon with people putting like donations for in the chats, like this super chats. And it's just scary, actually, how much people send to people. I guess it's not scary, but it's just sometimes people put less effort in and get more reward versus putting more effort in and getting less reward. So basically, I need an angel to help me pay off my mortgage. It's really my wife's mortgage because it's in her name. For document reasons, it was easier to not have my name on the mortgage because it needs more documents if my name is on the mortgage. Actually, interestingly, though, if my wife wants to sell the apartment without me, well, she can't sell it without me, though, even though I'm not on the documents. I still need to give her approval to sell the apartment. Not really, but yeah, it's so we kind of tied. All right, let's hope this pops back up. Thank you, everybody. I hope you've enjoyed the live stream. I see the amount of people viewing is going down. The mountain went up, it went down. Much. If anyone wants to pay off my mortgage, you could put a super thanks under the comments after the video is finished. I'm not asking this, by the way. This is just an idea that I have, my goofy ideas of titles. YouTube relies a lot on thumbnails and titles, not necessarily about the content or the person that's making the content. And these I have crazy ideas. Actually, someone even put on my donation alerts, someone sent 436 days ago, someone sent this crazy idea trademarked. Russell's got his crazy idea trademarked because I had the idea of buying an apartment and doing the renovating and making a video series about it. And I didn't do it because Bay Area. Oh, Bearable, hello. And Renee, goodbye. I guess waving. Thank you if you've not clicked away already. And Bearable, with your Carnival cruise ship picture in your icon. How cool is that? It looks like one of the. Maybe it's the Horizon or the Dream. No, it looks like Horizon. Maybe, I don't know. Fireflux also with waving as well. Shall I put the new video now? Is it too late? I'm a bit worried it's too late. What was the percentages of the mortgage? 50, almost 50-50 from 149 votes. Good pre-owned car. I don't know. I guess depending on the brand. I mean, you can buy a new one for $20,000 here. For $1.5 million, $2 million, so like $12,000 to $20,000, you can buy a new car. I would say about 20,000, but I don't know. I mean, 2 million. I mean, you can buy late model like BMW, Mercedes, Audi. You can buy Renault or Opel or whatever you like. I mean, there's no end to the price of a car here. You can buy very cheap, you can buy very expensive. Budget $500,000. That's probably not enough. Well, you could buy an older car for $500,000, but I don't think it would be enough for a pre-owned car. You could buy an old car for $500,000. $500,000 doesn't go very far with cars. You could buy brand new Lada Niva for 1,000,000 rubles. I'm not sure it's practical though, but it's cool. You put too much effort on your videos. We really appreciate it. Oh, you put so much effort. Thank you, Delay. Thank you so much. It's the Carnival Panorama. Oh, okay. Thanks. I only ever visited that ship. I never worked on it. Will I be coming to Kazan? I have no plan to go to Kazan at the moment. Actually, an Australian friend, a British friend, let me just repeat. Let me just re-say that. A British friend is just flown into Kazan. I think either yesterday or the day before. He's going to send me in the post some chocolate. that he brought from England for me. Here, if it's still working. I would say I've never been to St. Petersburg more than a few days at a time. So that as an answer, I couldn't give you. There's probably less apartments in St. Petersburg. There is million in Moscow. I mean, there is towers getting built every day here. So there is a massive amount of new builds or buying, older apartment buildings. I think it's really down to where you feel more comfortable that you would want to eventually live. Do you prefer St. Petersburg to Moscow? I mean, there's, people like one, people like the other, and then this, so yes, it seems to be the internet isn't cooperating. The minute I want to do something, it doesn't cooperate. The minute I don't want to do it, it's working beautiful. And it's just a mystery. Because I can still use YouTube in Russia. You can see that. Even though people have blatantly made videos about, it doesn't work in Russia. Okay, everybody, I'm out of here. 41 people are still here, 116 likes. If you want, you can post a comment under this video once it's finished. The next video on the channel will be a walk around of a American truck dealership. That's the video. And actually a really cool little mini interview with the guy that works there. I think. Okay, I'm going to end the live stream and I'm out of here. We'll see everybody more than likely next week. Yeah. And if you want to see me in Telegram chat, join me over there. Links in the description, as it is in all videos. How are the safe features of power? I mean, okay, I have to just go off my apartment. There's the fire. What do you call these? Like smoke detectors in the hallway here, in the corridor. There's fire extinguishers. I have to trust the company that built the building. Yeah, I mean, there is very rarely something that happens to apartments in Russia. Most of it's through older buildings with gas installed, where there's gas in older apartments. They don't allow gas in any new buildings in Russia. Yes. Delay, thank you. Yeah, I think these are just very extreme cases, like the one in England as well. Was it Grenfield? There was one in England where that happened as well. Yeah, I mean, look, we actually, when we've had the fire alarms go off here, and you can hear like the ducting, like this suction of the air. Basically, I know where the fire escape is. Walk downstairs and go outside, and that's it. Okay, thank you, everybody. I'll jump that off the screen. End stream. So I hope you enjoy the next new video coming up. And then I'll have the new shopping center video. Then I'll have the Cat Expo video. What's another video I've got? I've got 3 spare videos. 3? I've even got an older rugby video that I didn't put on the channel, where I went to the rugby. But the rugby videos recently didn't get views. So I don't know what to do. Just post it and a few people will be happy and everybody won't be happy. So yes, I went to a cat expo today. There was a cat expo in Moscow with over 1,000 cats, mostly getting shown for best in show and judged by professional judges. It was kind of cool. Not sure how the video will come out as cool, but it was pretty cool. Yeah, it's smiling all day. because the cats were so cute. And not every cat is beautiful, but that's each to their own, right? But all right, everybody. See you later. Thank you for watching and being a part of the channel. I'll see everybody in Telegram. I'm there a lot, so no worries at all if you want to chat there or chat to somebody else there. There is lots of people. There's lots of Russians in that chat as well. So if you've got a question about Russia, it's a good place to mention a question. Or if you want to ask about Italy, you can ask David about Italy. Yeah. Okay. Catch you later, everybody. Bye. Okay.